What's up, everybody? Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope you guys are having a pretty good Christmas out there, but hang on. Yeah, the news doesn't stop just because it's Christmas Day. That is right. I hope y'all got some gifts. I hope y'all ate some cookies. I hope y'all drank some milk because Santa Claus got to have his cookies and milk, y'all. But hey, I got some news for you if you're interested. Hey, but before we get into the news, do me a favor right quick. I would really appreciate it. It's Christmas, so y'all do me a favor and smash that like button. That would be the best Christmas gift you guys could give me. Subscribe. That could be another one, if you don't mind, if you're not already subscribed. If you're already subscribed, you can't subscribe again, but it is what it is. The system is how the system works. But let's get into the news before I ramble on about some nonsense. Check this out, y'all. Biden administration scraps rules to expand birth control access, right? So the Affordable Care Act, as a matter of fact, had several mandates in it. One of them was forcing companies to provide contraception to its employees and to people, right, for free. This is absurd, right? And Trump fought back on this. Trump fought because this violates your First Amendment rights. But let's get into this thing, and we'll get into further discussions after that. Check this out, y'all. The Biden administration is withdrawing a proposed set of regulations that aim to improve access to contraception by narrowing the ability of employers to opt out of covering birth control for their employees. The Department of Health and Human Services said in a notice in the Federal Register Monday that it was rescinding the regulations, which would have prohibited employers from claiming an exemption based on non-religious moral objections to the Affordable Care Act's contraception mandate. That is right. So Biden, as a matter of fact, was trying to re-implement this to force companies to pay for your contraception control, right? This is absurd on its face. Once again, I don't see how this gets through the court system. Actually, I don't know how it got through the court system in the first place, because this violates your First Amendment rights, because people think there's a lot of people out there, I don't happen to be one of them, right? I don't necessarily agree with this, but they think that, contraception is a form of abortion, which I can see where their argument's coming from. I don't agree with that. I think if you terminate the life before it gets started or right at the point of conception, I'm fine with that. Look, I'm okay. I don't think government should intervene in this instance, though. Right? I don't think the government needs to force companies to pay for this for their employees under the health insurance, right? Like, I think that's absurd on its face. You saw that, right? Like, y'all didn't see that. I don't know if y'all saw that or not. I'll do it again. But anyway, getting back to the point, like, I always try to throw those in to the videos. I don't know if y'all ever see them or not, if y'all ever notice, because a lot of times I'll just do it right quick and just continue talking. I might say, did you see that or not? But nobody ever says it down in the comments section, but maybe you will now if you ever see that in the video. But getting back to the point, I think it's wrong for the government to force companies to provide this to their employees, right? The health insurance, whatever it may be. I don't think they should be forced to do this. Now, I think that if they want to do this, sure, go right ahead. All right? Like, I'm totally fine with that. Totally fine with that. But let's keep going. HHS said the administration was taking the action to focus their time and resources on matters other than finalizing these rules in the waning days of the Biden administration. Yay for them. Yeah, they need to focus their efforts elsewhere, because this is absolutely ridiculous. I think it's very unpopular. I haven't checked the polling on this, so I have no idea, but to me, it sounds like that would be a very unpopular thing to do. Now, once again, Democrats, they'll come in and they'll sugarcoat these things, and they'll bring it up as something other than what it is. They'll manipulate you into believing one thing when it's really something totally different, right? Like, this is why this is another thing that Democrats and Republicans do this too, but they'll throw stuff like this in on the Affordable Care Act and then say, oh, well, Republicans don't want you to have health care, because they object to things like this that violate their religious freedoms. So they can't vote for this based on one thing in this, 5,000 page bill. One line or a couple of lines stating this right here, that they totally objecting it, right? And then Democrats will run on that problem. I can't stand how Democrats and Republicans, they both do this constantly. Sometimes it's apt, sometimes they are correct in doing so, right? But sometimes it's just a ploy to get you to dislike the other side. And that's something I can't stand. If you can't stand on your own morals, your own arguments, your own, decision-making process to win your seat in power, then what are you doing in power? As a matter of fact, if you can't stand on your principles and have people agree with you, maybe you need to rethink your principles there. If you have to resort to deceptive tactics, manipulating people's thought processes to get them to vote for you, yeah, maybe you should choose another occupation there, buddy. But let's keep going. Conservative organizations celebrated the news. Yeah, I'm sure they did. In a post on X, the Becket Fund for Religious Liberty, which represents an order of nuns that has repeatedly challenged the Affordable Care Act's birth control mandate in court, wrote, "Christmas came a little early this year." That is absolutely correct. And pretty much the main reason why I covered this. The rules would have also created a workaround for employees of religious organizations that refuse to provide birth control coverage to still access it for free. Once again, a workaround. They can still access this stuff for free. But, once again, I don't think the employers should be forced to do this. That's absurd on its face. If they want to opt into it, they most definitely can. Why can't we have these options, and why can't Democrats just be totally happy about this? Now, I know that Biden, as a matter of fact, just went ahead and dropped it. What? Why were you doing it in the first place if it wasn't that important? Right? But these people, they love to run on problems instead of finding solutions to these problems. That is a problem in this country, as a matter of fact. But let's keep going. It proposed that people who can't access contraception through their employer could obtain it at no charge directly from a healthcare provider. When it proposed the rule changes last year, the Biden administration estimated it would have helped 130,000 more people become eligible for contraceptive coverage. Now, to me, honestly, at this day and age, I don't know why any political party would be promoting contraception. That's ridiculous on its face, considering we're in a replacement crisis right now. We are well below replacement. We need to be at least 2 to meet replacement. That's just to replace our population. That's not to expand it, right? So at just replacement, you're not expanding your economy, right? Just outright, you're not expanding the population, so your economy is going to stagnate. Well, you know what? We can't have that, y'all. We got to keep pushing these budgets, making them bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's a logical inconsistency in the Democrats' policy positions, if you will, that they want to have all the abortion in the world, and they want all this contraceptive for free, and blah 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 blah, but yet they want to keep on expanding and spending money into oblivion. Well, hang on. If we're not growing our economy in a sufficient manner to handle that amount of spending, what are we doing here? Why are we trying to tell people to have abortions? That makes no sense. We need to expand the population so we can have GDP growth in the positive, so we can grow the economy, so we can actually do all this spending that you guys want to spend so much. It makes no sense whatsoever, right? And what kind of a message is that sending to your constituents here? Oh, well, you should think about getting an abortion. Huh? To me, that's insulting. That's just an outright insult. Why do you not want me to have kids? That makes no sense. But, a Democrat will do Democrat things. Now more than ever, access and coverage of birth control is critical. HHS Secretary Xavier Becerra said in January of 2023, adding that the rule says to women across the country, "We have your back. If you want to kill your babies, go right ahead." That's what the message was sent. Like, really? That's the message that they are sending. He just told you that. That's not coming from me. That's what Xavier Becerra said. By rescinding the rules, HHS leaves in place regulations created by the Trump administration that significantly rolled back the ACA contraception mandate by allowing virtually any objecting employer, be they religious, secular, large, or small, to claim an exemption. This is a good thing. This is more freedom, as a matter of fact. The elimination of federal protections for abortion access in 2022 has made the stakes higher for access to affordable contraceptions. No, it hasn't. It has nothing to do with abortion at all. Contraceptive coverage, including birth control and contraceptive counseling, is one of a long list of preventive health services insurers are required to cover at no cost to the patient under the Affordable Care Act. Over the last decade, tens of millions of people have received no-cost contraception, leading to a decrease in unintended pregnancies. Since Trump's 2018 rules took effect, private health plans and insurance companies have been able to exclude coverage of contraceptive services for objecting employers, as well as private colleges and universities, leaving many without access to free contraceptives. So what? Who cares? Right? If these people want to be on birth control, that's a life choice, right? That's not a healthcare decision. I am sorry. You can try to explain it any way you want to, but nowhere can you get around the logic of this. That is a lifestyle choice. That is not a healthcare decision. Not. There is zero arguments against this, right? Like, I beg you, if you have any, leave them down in the comments. But I can almost assure you, I've talked with a lot of people about this, right? A lot of people, and nobody can ever come up with a good enough argument to convince me that this is anything other than a lifestyle choice that should not be covered under health care, under health insurance. If you choose to do this, then hey, that's your choice. It's not a health care decision. While those regulations included a mechanism for people to receive contraceptive coverage, the objecting employer, college, or university had to opt into the accommodation. Yes, that is right. And I don't see a problem with that. Opting into something is much different than forcing it upon people, right? Especially when we have a religious reason to object to this. Many people out there believe that life starts at contraception, and a lot of these birth control, they can't really take effect until after it's right. Some of them, like the abortion pills and all that, you don't take it until you get pregnant, so it kills the pregnancy or whatever. Now, I know there are some contraceptives out there that actually kind of prevent you from getting pregnant, which, to me, I'm totally fine with those, right? Once again, I'm totally fine with that. I don't think, companies should be forced to pay for this. That's just ridiculous, in my opinion. It's outright ridiculous. I don't think that should be covered under health insurance either, right? Now, if you want to buy a health insurance plan that has that in it, who am I to object? That's between you and your insurance company, right? I just don't think they should be forced to pay for this, right? And I think that people, if they want to live that type of lifestyle, then yes, you should pay for that, right? Unintended pregnancies aside, right? Who cares if it's unintended? Most pregnancies are unintended, right? Just outright, that's the truth. It's the God's honest truth. Most pregnancies are unintended. Now, are they welcomed? Yes, a lot of times they are welcomed. Sometimes they're not. But I think that, once again, that's a lifestyle decision. That's not a healthcare decision. Abortion is a lifestyle decision. It's not a healthcare decision. I can't stand how Democrats say, oh, you're denying women's health. No, you're not. I'm sorry. That's not healthcare. That is not healthcare. That is a lifestyle choice. You want to choose to live a life of a parent. That is a choice. Yes, now, it does, in fact, have healthcare ramifications. Sure, I will agree to that. There are ramifications for health if you get pregnant. Sure. Can't deny that, right? But it's still a choice to take that step, which I think that should be encouraged, but these days it's being discouraged, right? Oh, we don't want people having babies, right? But what they want to do instead, oh, well, we got to continue to grow the country, right? So they just allow millions of criminal aliens to come across the southern border, which is outright ridiculous and outright just stupid in my opinion. Because now you're trying to blend all these different cultures and it just doesn't work. We need people to melt into the pot. We do not need foreign objects that refuse to melt into the melting pot, for crying out loud. Right? You're going to cause a disruption. That's also can be considered parasitic, if you will. Right? Just coming in and disrupting everything. That's what criminal aliens do. Not all of them, but some of them. Especially when it's en masse, like what the Biden administration has demonstrated. It's been demonstrated outright. Just look at the situation in Springfield, Ohio. Right now, that was blown up because Trump came in and said, they're eating the dogs and they're eating the cats, right? Which was kind of half true. Wasn't totally true, right? It was only half true. Right, but he's highlighting a situation where the federal government takes 20,000 refugees from Haiti and plops them down in a town of 50,000 and just say, here you go. You know, expect everything to work out just rosy, right? They put these people in their own enclaves. Well, hang on, they don't know anything about our rules. They don't know anything about our laws. They're just going to do what they want. So they don't know that a lot of their actions are abnormal for this country, and they're disrupting people's lives over it. You know, there's been several 911 calls because some Haitian refugee went over here and whacked the head off of a goose. Well, hang on, goose meat is great. I love eating geese, right? It's good food. Tastes like chicken, kind of, right? But to do it in an open park, right? You shouldn't do that right there, buddy. You know, but that brings up another issue. Once again, the melting pot here. A lot of people just they're not used to seeing that type of thing. They don't want their kids seeing that type of thing. And hey, that has to be respected. Especially if you're coming into our country from another country. You need to respect our customs. Hey, look, we will respect your customs. Just respect ours in the first place. Right? You go do this behind closed doors. You know, snatch that goose up, take him off into your backyard, and go do whatever the heck you want to with it at that point, right? Like, hey, look, I'm totally fine with it. Look, I'll come from Southwest Louisiana, right? So, it's well known to me that we have a lot of people that we go off into the woods with a gun, and we blast stuff, okay? That's what I'll say. We blast stuff, we drag it out of the woods, we take it to the house, we butcher it, and then we make food out of it. We make gumbo, right? And it's really, really good. I love deer meat. Deer meat's one of my favorite. It's one of the best. Alligator meat, goose, it's all really, really good. But I would not go to my local park where kids are playing on a swing set and whack off the head of a goose. Right? You just don't do that. We have areas designated for these things. They're called WMAs, wildlife management areas, where you can go in, you go do whatever you want. There's geese, there's ducks, a lot of times deer, wild pigs, what have you. You name it. There's all kinds of stuff. You might even find a bear. You never know. But yeah, I don't know if you can actually kill those for sustenance, but it is what it is. I've gotten off topic on this one, but I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comments section. Let me know, hey, did you have a Merry Christmas? Let me know what y'all's Christmas was like. That's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching. And once again, y'all have a very, very Merry Christmas. And stay legitical. Peace.